What's going on, guys? Commander Cowboy here, and today we are doing a Denver Broncos mock draft. Guys, the draft is less than a week away, and I am extremely excited. So this is just a quick little scenario, maybe to see what would happen depending on how the board fell. It's actually a really interesting draft, how it all played out. I enjoyed doing it. If you guys like it, make sure to smash that like button. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave some comments on what you would do if you were in my situation on some of those picks. So that's all I got, guys. Enjoy the draft. All right, so for this mock draft, we're going to be using the NFL mock draft database for anybody that might want to do this from themselves. It's a 7-round mock draft. I'll be making the picks for the Broncos. It's going to be a free-for-all because that's a little bit easier to make trades. I think realistic trades in this. I'm going to try to do as realistic trades as I can. So let's go ahead and we'll see how the first 15 picks shape out. Kind of go over the picks. I know the Broncos in this draft, they need a wide receiver, so wide receiver might be my top priority in this draft, and it looks like 3 just went right there, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so this is a scenario I can definitely see happening. I can see Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb going just like that. So everybody else here kind of looks like this is exactly how I see it kind of playing out. But yeah, these receivers right here, I can see them definitely going 11, 12, 13. All 3 wide receiver needy teams. So the first thing that I want to do here, guys, is I actually think the best case scenario would be for me to trade back, because as you can see, Jedrick Willis is here. And one team that I know needs an offensive tackle, needs an offensive lineman, is the Miami Dolphins. So let's go up here. I'm going to search for the Dolphins, and I want picks 26 and 39, and I will give them pick 15. Now, this is a trade I personally think that they should accept, especially if they have one of the top offensive linemen on the board still. And that is their pick, too, Jedrick Willis. Awesome. So we get 2 more picks we're moving back a little bit, but still I think we can get a good wide receiver. So we're on the clock. Check the wide receivers out real quick, and we have Denzel Mims. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I think Denzel Mims has to be the pick on this. Good wide receiver, tall, fast, going to play great opposite of Courtland Sutton. So with the 26th pick, the Denver Broncos select Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor. All right, guys, so I do have the draft scouting report here for Denzel Mims. He had a rating of 87. Like I said, he's fast. I think he ran a 4.38 40 at the combine. He's 6'3", 207 pounds. You guys can go ahead and read his strengths and weaknesses, but he also had 66 receptions, 1,020 yards, and 12 touchdowns in 2019. The one weakness that I do want to point out is that he struggled with some drops, but I think if you can clean those up, guys, he's going to be a great addition to that wide receiver room, and having him on one side and Courtland Sutton on the other side could be potentially pretty dangerous. All right, guys, so what I like about trading back is we get another pick in the second round, and with that pick 39, I do believe the Broncos should, or at least I'm going to, go with an offensive lineman. We'll go ahead and look around here and kind of see who else is available, but overall, we do need an offensive lineman, especially with Connor McGovern leaving, going to the Jets in the offseason. We really need another offensive lineman. Love Tyler Biadasz, but Lloyd Cushenberry being here at pick 47 is great. I think that he'd be tremendous value, actually, pick 39. So, yeah, I think with the 39th pick, the Broncos definitely select Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU. Once again, guys, got the draft profile here for Lloyd Cushenberry. So, as you can see up there, he is 6'3", 312. Going to be a huge guy to plug in there right in the middle and take Connor McGovern's spot. I think he starts day 1 if the Denver Broncos draft him. A lot of agile guys along the line. He's more of a bigger guy, kind of like a little anchor. But I think he comes in, plays well, and has potential to be better than Connor McGovern was. So, I think that's a good pick at 39. All right, guys, so the Broncos have not had good luck with drafting corners in the 3rd round. So I think this next pick has to be a corner at pick 46. As you can see here, we got Damon Arnett, we got Cameron Danzire, and then the guy that I'm looking at, though, is going to be Bryce Hall down here. Yeah, there he is, Bryce Hall. I think with with this pick, I mean, you can get Bryce Hall. He's a taller guy, really good in zone coverage, which Vic Fangio runs quite a bit. So with this 46 pick, I think it's only right that the Broncos go ahead and select a corner. Not taking one in the third round would be great for a change. Taking one in the second round, and a pretty good player at that. So with the 46th pick, the Denver Broncos select Bryce Hall. All right, so we have the draft profile here for Bryce Hall. As you can see, he had a rating of 87. Excels in zone coverage, one of the strengths there, which would be great for Vic Fangio's defense. As you can see, the stats there, not ideal, but that is, I believe, due to the fact that he was injured and required surgery, so he didn't get to play his full senior season. I feel like, honestly, I feel like that's why he's kind of falling down people's draft boards, is the fact that he was injured. But if you can get him in the second round, I feel like he would be a great addition, maybe play opposite of AJ Boye right away, putting Bryce Callahan in the slot. And, I mean, slowly but surely working back to that no-fly zone 2.0. So we've got some really good picks we've made so far. Now in the third round, and I believe this is where we go. I want to see how the board falls. Yes, we need another offensive lineman, but I want to get more weapons for Drew Lock. You know, Drew Lock right now, he's got Cortland Sutton, and then right behind Cortland Sutton, you've got Deshaun Hamilton and Tim Patrick. So we're going to see, we have the 77th pick, wow, here, and we're going to try to see who's available at the wide receiver spot. So right now we got Denzel Mims, Lloyd Cushenberry, and Bryce Hall. I'm pretty satisfied with the picks we got so far, but if we look here, Van Jefferson and KJ Hamler out of Penn State. KJ Hamler, smaller guy, quick, explosive. I do believe you can get him in the third round. This is a guy you definitely take. Put him in the slot. You now have two great guys on the outside in Denzel Mims and Cortland Sutton, and then KJ Hamler. So yeah, with this pick, we are taking KJ Hamler out of Penn State. All right, so draft profile here. Sorry, the height and weight got cut off. KJ Hamler's 5'9" and 178, but as you can see, there's strengths and weaknesses. He is an electric player, quick out of breaks and stuff like that. I think he would be fantastic in the slot, another weapon for Drew Lock. Now you've got a guy running a 3.38. Of course, KJ Hamler did not run the 40 at the NFL Combine, but looking at his stats, he had 56 receptions for 904 yards and 8 touchdowns. And I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's decent production from a college player that you're going to stick into the slot. I think he's a day one starter, and he can take the top off of a defense. We are back to the draft, and we have another pick here at 83. So one guy that I'm looking at in particular here, and I know he's here, Leke Fotu, is a guy that the Broncos have been talking to and stuff like that. I think he'd be a great guy to plug in there in the middle, along with Mike Purcell. You can interchange those guys, keeping them fresh. Big guy, can definitely plug up the middle. So with the 83rd overall pick, I do believe the Broncos select Leke, if that's how you pronounce his name, Fotu. And we're going to go ahead and draft this guy right now, defensive lineman out of Utah. And like I said, he is a monster of a man. He is 6'5", 330. You guys can go ahead and check out his strengths and weaknesses. Not really eye-popping stats, but like I said, he's a guy that can definitely plug the middle. He only had 29 tackles and 1.5 sacks. But if you're looking for a guy that can be a force in the run game, I believe this is the guy that can definitely do that for you. So one of the main reasons I do not want to see the Broncos trade up is the fact that we have 3 third-round draft picks, and I absolutely love that to get some more players. I don't want to trade up because I know you probably have to trade away some of those guys. And one guy in particular I want, as you can see down there, is Davion Taylor at linebacker. I think he can fill the need that was left by Will Parks. I feel like he's a guy that you can throw in at safety, maybe put him up in the box, play a little bit of linebacker. And I mean, I think he's going to be all over the field if you watch some of his tape from CU. So I think we can get him in the later rounds. A guy that I do want, though, is Prince Tagawanogu. As you can see here, you got 2 teammates, offensive tackles from Auburn on the board. Prince Tagawanogu, I believe, is a guy that you can put in there at right tackle or left tackle, and he can make an impact right away. We really don't know the certainty of Juwan James. You know, there's health concerns with him. And then also like Garrett Bowles. I've heard there's a competition with Elijah Wilkinson at left tackle next year. So I think you take Prince Tagawanogu with this pick, throw him in there and kind of see if he can be any better than one of those two. Yeah, so we got the the scouting report here. He is 6'5", 308, rating of 84. You guys can look at his strengths and weaknesses. And, our whole offensive line is pretty agile. I know with the pick of Lloyd Cushenberry wouldn't be as agile, but as you can see here, Prince Tagovailoa is got a lot of linear movements, very good in the linear movements as well as smooth in the screen game. So two big pros that pop out to me right away. I think he'd fit great in this offense, and he could make an immediate impact, and he could also push Garrett Bowles for a starting job. All right, guys, so we're getting close to the picks in the hundreds here, and our next pick, we got, 15 picks away from our next selection. And like I said, I really want linebacker Davion Taylor. I think he'd be really good. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I actually want to make a trade. As we can see here, we'll kind of go through my picks. Linebacker's a big need, edge, quarterback. We've got a lot of really good players, but I pick 118. So I feel like the best thing I can do here is kind of get some better value maybe. I want Davion Taylor, so I think I can pick up some more draft capital, maybe do some trades, trade back a little bit, because I think I could probably get him with the pick probably in the 130s somewhere. The biggest question is really what do I want to trade away? So I really want to keep the 179. I'm going to go through here. I want this to be as realistic as possible. So we're going to go ahead and go to the trades, kind of cycle through these teams and see who has picks in, 127 there. Picks in the 130s. So go through 147, 128. That's us. 115, 123, 138. This is a good one, but Kansas City would not trade with us, I don't think. 114, 131. Okay, so the Cardinals right here, we have... Let's see, they have 131. So ideally, let's just try to make this as realistic as possible. We'll go 131, and we'll say we give them 118, and we get 203. I mean, obviously, you can't get picks next year, which I feel like this trade would probably go through if they wanted to move up and get someone in the fourth round. Because, it's still early. There's still a lot of good players on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and trade away this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and submit this. All right, now we are going to go back down here and wait until pick... We get 137, and then hope the Davion Taylor is there. So let's just wait. Oh, no, 131, and he's definitely going to be there. So, yeah, with this pick, we are taking Davion Taylor. And like I said, guys, he flies around. He's a fast guy. Played at CU, smaller school, but I really feel like he could fill the void left by Will Parks. So, yeah, with this 131 pick, we're going to go ahead and draft Davion Taylor. So CBS Sports did him a little dirty and didn't even give him any strengths or weaknesses, but that's all right. I've got the NFL draft tracker here, so real quick, you guys can see he's 6'1", 228, 69 tackles, and 1.5 sacks. Some strengths I'm going to read real quick right off the bat is that he is fearless, he is aggressive, and he has long speed. And we need that long speed to cover tight ends in our division because apparently we have not figured out how to do that in the past 3 years. So weaknesses is that he hasn't played enough football. He has some kind of a lack of awareness, and he's not very instinctive, which I think that'll come with time. Here in the fourth round, I think you're getting really good value from a player that he's going to try hard. I mean, he's a hometown kid, so why wouldn't you give him a chance? And then eventually, I personally believe that he could fit in there and take Todd Davis's linebacker spot within the first 3 years. Solid pick here. Let me know you guys' thoughts with this one. This may have been a reach, but overall, I thought it was a decent pick. So let's hop on to the next one. All right, so we are moving on down. We are going into the 5th round. And in all honesty, I have absolutely no idea who I'm going to pick with this next pick. I'm going to go ahead and check out. I mean, we could get an edge guy later. Safety, we just got Nick Vannett. I really don't want a tight end. And we also have Melvin Gordon. We've got like 3 or 4 running backs on the team right now. So we're going to kind of wait and see how the board falls here. And then, we will pick whoever I think is the best fit for us. So we traded back. So we have 179 and 182. So real quick, just looking, it said we needed safety, and right now the best value, we have 179, Julian Blackmon. Not as familiar with him, but I'm sure once I select him, I can do a little research and kind of read back on him. It could be a bad pick, but I believe with the 156 pick, looks like we're getting really good value here, so I'm going to go ahead and select Julian Blackmon. He is a safety out of Utah. I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous with that last pick. I usually don't like selecting players I'm not very familiar with, but as you can see here, scouting report, he's 6 foot 187. Overall rating 79. You guys can read the strengths and weaknesses there. And actually had a pretty productive 2019 season. 60 tackles, 1.5 sacks, and 4 interceptions. So, not terrible pick. I think that this is a decent pick, and I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to stick to my guns and say it was a good pick. And just like that, we have 182. Okay, so that was... Picked one at 179, now we get one at 182. I'm going to go ahead and look here. We got an offensive tackle. Would be nice to kind of find a guy that, we had so many injuries on the offensive line. I would just like to load up on offensive line. I'm looking for the highest rated players, and I'm not going to lie, guys, we're getting to this point in the draft where I'm not as familiar. I'm going strictly with value based on the draft board. Justin Herron, offensive tackle out of Wake Forest, looks like our best option here. So, with this 182nd pick, I'm going to take Justin Herron, offensive tackle, Wake Forest. All right, and we have the Justin Herron draft scouting report. So he is 6'4", 308. You guys can check out those strengths and weaknesses. One thing I want to touch on, good lateral quickness. We're getting those nice and agile guys. We're not getting those huge brick guys that can't really move other than Lloyd Cushenberry. That was kind of a luxury pick because I really do like Lloyd Cushenberry. But if we were going strictly like more agile players, probably would have went Tyler Biotish with that pick. A little bit of a reach, but overall, I do believe this is a good pick, and I think he could fit in there. Maybe take a little bit of time to develop behind some of the players we have right now. But overall, look, we had Jake Rogers and other players playing last year that, they held their own, but I feel like this is another guy that can come in and contribute if he needed to. With this pick, it's not too bad. So this is the time in the draft where I think it's time for us to get like more developmental players, players that can play special teams, maybe, can kind of contribute in a few years. If they turn out, we got a lot of late round players that did really well. Danny Trevathan a few years ago did well for us. So with the 203rd pick, I do believe Neville Clark. I am somewhat familiar with him. He's a taller, lengthier guy. I do believe that he come in and contribute on special teams. He's a little quicker. He's pretty explosive from what I've watched of him. So with the 193rd pick, the Broncos... with the 203rd pick, he's 193 value pick here. So we're going to select cornerback Neville Clark. We have here the draft profile for Neville Clark. You guys can go ahead and read those strengths and weaknesses. Like I said, he's a little bit taller, 6'1", 190, not overly productive stats, 22 tackles, 2 interceptions. But like I said, I see him more as a developmental guy and a special teams contributor. And really, like I said, it's all about how they develop. You have no idea how well he's going to do in the NFL until he gets in there and starts learning the playbook and how well he fits into these systems. So, like I said, these later picks, you guys can kind of let me know if there's another way that you think I should have went. I love feedback, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with this pick, and then we will head on to the next one. We're getting there. We are almost done. We've got, 3 picks left? We need a few players. There's one player in particular that I really want, and I'm going to pull him up here real quick. Edge player, Chauncey Rivers. I love this guy. He's out of Mississippi State, and I believe that he, under Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, learning from them, I think he could be one heck of a player. One thing is, I want to make sure I get him. So I'm going to pause this real quick. I'm going to have to do a trade. We have more draft capital. Honestly, if I was the Broncos, I know the Broncos last year, it seemed like they were getting kind of tired of having all the picks, so they just traded 2 of them away to get Juwan Winfrey. So what we're going to do here is we're going to see who we can trade with. I'd like to get in around that 240, 241 range. So, 226. I think he'll last. I guess I'll have to find out. So let's go ahead and trade. Let's kind of see. Let's give both these picks away. And you know what? I got good relations with John Lynch, but let's see who else we got around here. Let's see. New England, maybe 242. The Patriots. Yeah, I think the Patriots would take this trade. Sure. Sure, they definitely take this trade. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and submit this and then pray that Chauncey Rivers is there, and he is. So with the 242nd pick, the Denver Broncos select Chauncey Rivers, edge rusher, Mississippi State. All right, so no strengths or weaknesses for Chauncey, but he's 6'2", 262. And why I like this guy so much, from what I've seen, guys, he is super quick off the ball. He's super aggressive. He can actually be kind of violent at the point of attack. One of the biggest knocks I've really seen on him is he really only has like one pass rush move. Okay, well, you've got one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, Von Miller, that he can learn from, as well as Bradley Chubb. And honestly, I mean, he's a bigger guy. I can see him maybe coming in and playing on the edge, maybe being kind of like a right end or left end, maybe substituting in and out with Draymond Jones. But overall, I love this guy. If the Broncos got him, I'd be super happy. Not big production, 43 tackles, 5 sacks, but still a great pick here. And that concludes the 2020 mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave any comments, give me some feedback, some picks that you might go with, some picks you didn't like. Love mock draft season. So like I said, guys, NFL draft's just around the corner. So hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe.